I've been lucky to have a career as an engineer, but like poet Robert Louis Stevenson, I sometimes think that engineering has swamped the creative side of my personality.
Allumage EAP. Décollage.
Stevenson complained that he was from a family of engineers, and I've begun to wonder if that is the case for me too. Unsurprisingly, my father Dennis was an engineer. He had a successful career in the computer industry. He had seen the transition from the mechanical punch card computers known as tabulators through the early valve and transistor computers which would fill a small warehouse to the microcomputers we now use every day. I wondered where Dad had received his training even before computers existed, and all was revealed when we applied for his wartime service records. In 1940 Dad was trained at HMS Collingwood, the Navy's top engineering training establishment, in the new technology of radar. His service record shows that he then served on the Atlantic convoys, then on the Malta convoys, and finally the Salerno invasion. On the face of it, Norman Skirchley, my grandpa, was a car salesman. That is, when the motor trade was still a reputable career. But I found that he was in fact an apprenticed engineer. From the 1930s he managed Elgin Road Garage in Wallington, which is now a ruin. But from the 1930s to the 1970s it was a thriving business. I wondered how it was that Elgin Road Garage was such a success, and came across this photo in the family archives. Grandpa, it seems, was treasurer and later Grand Master of the Croydon Lodge of the Freemasons, so it seems he had all the right contacts. My grandmother, Cathy, said disparagingly that my great-grandfather Lionel was a drunkard who made his money selling paintbrushes. It seems that actually Lionel did rather well. He was a timber merchant's clerk, so I wanted to know how it all went off the rails. The woman in this picture is not my great-grandmother. It is Lionel's partner, Mrs. Mepham. It seems that my great-grandmother Lizzie died when my grandfather was just a teenager, and in those days it was traditional to take a memorial picture. So this is a family tragedy in a photograph 100 years old. My great-great-grandfather Joseph was a mining engineer, responsible for gold and diamond mines such as this one at Lillooet in Canada. We found this paper clipping from 1914 and wondered how he became known as King Skirchley, and all was revealed in his book, which is still in print and includes descriptions of all manner of gory ceremonies. The King of Dahomey gave him the title Prince of Wydar, but the New York Times, it seems, found out the truth. The book was actually a cover for gun running, and Joseph was finally bought off by the French occupying power and fled to New York. Joseph was born in the village of Hinckley near Leicester, and there then follow a long line of Josephs and Thomases, all engineers, all living in Hinckley, right back to the Industrial Revolution. I headed to Hinckley to track down my name, and what I found was frankly a shock. It seems that the name Skirchley is just a tiny village, little more than a hamlet in the parish of Hinckley. So my name is a plague name, adopted by peasants after the Great Plague, to uniquely identify themselves for payment. My name is as English as apple pie, and there it would have rested had I not taken a DNA test. My DNA shows clearly that my ancestors were among the invading Danes and Vikings. Wouldn't it be great if my ancestors engineered those amazing longships?
A black sailor! ships. Seldom has the screen seen such an avalanche of excitement.
So it seems I do in fact come from a family of engineers, dating from the Industrial Revolution. And just maybe I can trace engineering in my family back nearly 2,000 years to the Viking longships. And as my wife Pauline says, maybe that explains it. I really don't know what she means.